Hi there, and welcome to my video on converting my van. So video number one on the van conversion. This isn't going to be one of those videos where you see montages of me cutting things out and putting things together, taking you through each individual step and tips and tricks. Firstly, I'm no expert on this. Secondly, we're in June now. Summer's approaching and I just need to get on and get this done. So the plans for these videos will be just to take you through what I'm going to do, then I'm going to crack on and do it and try and remember to take some photos as I go along, and then I will show you once I've finished the work that I've done for the video. So without further ado, I'll take you through what I'm going to do this time. Okay, so jobs for this video. Firstly, we're going to be taking out the bulkhead top and bottom. There's a rib nut here that I'll need to drill out, and then there's these 10mm bolts all the way around the top, across the middle and down the bottom. So I'll take both halves out. We were planning originally to put in sort of like a stud wall just to keep the cab separate and make it quite sort of a stealth camper. We do want to put units along this section here, but what we're going to do is I'm just going to put some thermaliner on the back of the bottom half and put that back in, and then we'll leave the top half out. I'm going to do a sort of plywood edge around the top so that we can then put a curtain pole across and have a curtain to cover the top half, leaving the bottom half in. I'm going to batten the roof, making use of these existing screw fixings. I've got some M6 screws which should be the right size to go into those from what I've done so far, checking that. And then we'll also take out the floor, which is now really messy, having taken all that soil and the tree cuttings and a load of other rubbish to the tip. I'll have to take these anchor points out. Again, I think that's a 13mm bolt in that one, so all those will come out. Hopefully it's not bonded too well to the floor, and we can get that up, and we'll get the ones on the wheel arches done as well. And then I'll put some packers along the floor, in between the ribs of the van floor, just to give me something to screw into. Bear in mind the battery is underneath. I'm also going to glue it with some Sikaflex to the floor as well. I'll also get some thermaliner across the bottom as well. So that is the plan for however many hours it's going to take me to do that. So yeah, better start cracking on. So the floor's in and the bulkhead removed. It's been quite a tough job trying to get it all done. We've had a really hot heat wave in the last week or so, so temperatures up into the high 30s, red heat warning as well. So sort of coming home from work and trying to do some of the work in that sort of heat was a little bit tough. There was one night where I shut myself in the van and put the aircon on while I was doing some bits, which was quite nice. Also took to getting up early and doing it in the early hours of the morning rather than when I got back from work, as it was slightly cooler. But I'll give you a quick tour and show you where we're up to. So the bulkhead is out, and we've put in this surround. It's only 5mm ply at the minute. I do want to strengthen it up a little bit because we're potentially going to put a curtain across this point. So I'm going to put some thicker ply sort of in this area here, where we're going to secure the curtain rail to. So that's still got a bit of work to do. The bulkhead as well, I'll quickly show you the bottom half. So that's got some thermaliner on now, and acoustic sort of liner on there just to keep the sound down a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the top bit. So there are some holes where the screws were, and then there were these that are knots onto a thread, so I may make some sort of wooden panel just to go across this bit just to neaten it up as well. And then there's the floor, which took quite a bit of cutting and sorting out to get in, because it's not sort of very square, this van. There are a lot of curves on it. You can see this bit here as well, where it goes up onto the wheel arch, so I couldn't go all the way back, so I've got to work out what to do in that bit. So we've got our wooden ply packers in the floor, just where each of the sort of grooves are in the floor. That's given me something to screw into. The green markings are where those are, just so I know where I can and cannot put slightly longer screws in. I had some parcel paper and put that down and traced where everything was, and then lined it up with the floor before putting it in, and then double check just to make sure everything was aligned. The join in the middle, that has got some biscuit joints in, so that's all in one piece. Again, there's a few notches that I've had to take out, as you've got little lumps and bumps, same at the back as well. So yeah, not the easiest thing to cut and work out, and there were a few welds that go from one side to the other as well that added a little bit of a challenge to try and get the shape right. The old floor came out easy enough. That was just held in by the anchor bolts and the little metal discs, so that just lifted straight out. The two on the wheel arches, the smaller pieces, were stuck with some sort of double-sided 3M sort of foam tape. Quick spray of WD-40, that came off really easily. The bolts were the tricky thing. So the 4 at the front that we had, they were full thread, just went straight back in just to close up those holes. The 4 at the back, for some reason, were a different bolt. They weren't full thread, so I had to get some new ones. They were M10, got some from Toolstation. They were a coarse thread, 1.5mm. These were a finer thread, so ordered some 1.25mm off Amazon. They came and they were the same as the ones I got from Toolstation, so 1.5mm thread. So I ended up going to a place called Bolt World. They were able to provide 4 M10 1.25mm thread bolts, and they fitted in the back. That delayed me a little bit, so what we did in the interim was started to look at the roof. So I put some wooden battens just across here, so there's 2 points in this bit that were slightly sort of the structural supports for the roof rather than the outer skin. They had some 6mm threaded holes already in them. One of the holes at the front, I had to put riv nut in that, an M5 riv nut, because that was a slightly smaller hole, just to give me an extra bit at the front to screw into. Same sort of across the back one, the middle and the back one. So to get the holes lined up, just put some masking tape along where the holes were, marked them, put that onto the wood, drilled, and that was all lined up quite nicely. Again, as I said about all these curves, so at the front here we've got this little notch, we've got this little bit of cable conduit, bit of curve before we get straight. This centerpiece, that thing, for some reason you get that sticking into the middle, and then the back again, we've got a bit of a curve in there, so it's in quite loosely at the minute. I haven't finished that off. It was just to get the shape ready while I had a bit of spare time and something to do while I was waiting for those bolts. I put some wood down here as well, because again with dips down, so when I box this in, that will be nice and flat. And then I've also started putting the battens for the side pieces as well. I think what I'm going to do next time is start cutting these bits for the wall, because as you can see there's loads of curves and nothing's really straight. So I want to try and work out where all my bits of wood are going to go first, get all that cut and ready, because we're going to be priming and painting that rather than doing carpet. So I can't do 4-way stretch carpet. I'm not going to even attempt to try and do that. I much prefer woodwork and sort of carpentry and using wood, so I'm going to try and do that. But yeah, we've got stage 1 sort of complete, and I don't think it's looking too bad. It's coming along quite nicely. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button if you did. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay tuned for more videos, and part 2 will hopefully come soon.